If Supreme's hoodies went from 158 to 208, people would still buy them. I mean, you would. Think about it. You definitely still buy it. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D's. Welcome back to 1K. Let me turn this damn. Come on now. I listen to audiobooks in the car, man. I couldn't get that shit off though. Anyways, y'all, what's good, man? This is an update to the previous video I posted about the Carlyle Group and the acquisition of Supreme. I just want to update you guys because there's been a lot more information that's came out, and I kind of been dragging my feet on it, but I should have made this update a couple of days ago, and nobody else really has on YouTube, but this is important, guys. I mean, this is important. If you're a big fan of the way Supreme is right now, then this is important to you. So let's just pop it off and get right to the numbers, man. The Carlyle Group purchased a $500 million stake in Supreme for 50% of the company. Think about that. $500 million, right? Did you have any idea Supreme was worth $1 billion? That's what it means. If they purchased 50% of the company, that means they gave it $1 billion valuation, right? Because the other half's worth $500 million as well. So I think the company's worth $1 billion, right? They'd have to be pretty optimistic on what's going to happen with Supreme in the future to hedge their bets on it being worth $1 billion. You know, when I said in the previous video, if you guys have not watched the previous video about the Carlyle Group and them getting involved with Supreme, then go ahead and watch that. I'll link it. I don't know where the card will be at, but on one of these sides of the screen, I'll link it up here, and you guys could check that out. I was actually sitting right here in the same spot in the whip, chopping it up about it. So, guys, so get caught up with that. But right now, Carlyle Group purchased a 50% stake in Supreme for $500 million, guys. That's nuts. I mean, that's nuts. And for those y'all who think that doesn't mean big changes for Supreme, you are fucking tripping. I mean, you are tripping. You're tripping. Because Carlyle Group does not get involved with people. First of all, let me give some information about Carlyle Group. They've bought 83 consumer retail companies, right? 83 of them. 50 of those 83, they did complete buyouts. There's been no companies that they've gotten into a minority ownership with, right? So they make the decisions. They're in control. When they buy a company, they get in there and they boss up on everybody. And in James Jebbia's statement, you know, he was saying that Carlyle Group gives us the ability to work on the things that we're focused on, but we're still remain in control of the company as we've always have. And that's bullshit, guys. I mean, that's really bullshit. James Jebbia, he don't even own the other 50%. You know, it's not like it's going to be even between Carlyle Group has 50%, James Jebbia has 50%. No, there's another guy involved named Keith Miller. And he was actually from a private investment firm. I think it's called Good Partners. I believe that's what they're called. A private equity firm called Good Partners. And this guy's name is Keith Miller. And he's been involved with Supreme for several years now. And he's served on their board. And he may own as large of a stake as James Jebbia. There's never been information to come out to really say how much of the company he owns. But he is a major player in Supreme. The other investors, James Jebbia, Keith Miller, everybody else who may be involved with Supreme already before the Carlyle Group, now they all are splitting 50% of the company, where Carlyle Group has a whole 50. So Carlyle Group is the majority owner of Supreme. Now, like as of right now, Carlyle Group is the majority owner of Supreme. So if you guys don't think that that's a big deal or that's not serious or whatever, you're really tweaking, because they don't get involved to just like, they're not out here giving charity. They're not trying to grow a brand. I mean, they are trying to grow the brand, but they're not in the business of keeping shit limited. They're not in the business of keeping shit hype. They're in the business to make money. That's what they're concerned about, is making money. If they give the company $1 billion valuation, they're going to be damn sure that they're going to get $1 billion back. And so at this current point in time, Supreme, they make about $100 million in revenue a year, not in profit, in revenue, right? So revenue minus your cost equal profit. We don't know what Supreme's costs are, and we don't know what their exact profit is. You know, we could guess, we could say their cost is like, you know, 20 million, 30 million, and then maybe they're grossing, you know, gross profiting $70-80 million a year. Let's for the sake of the argument, imagine that the $100 million of revenue, let's just pretend they don't have any costs, and that's pure profit, right? So they have $100 million of pure profit a year. that means that if Carlyle Group is receiving back half the profit Supreme makes, which would be $50 million, that means it would take them 10 years to get their money back. So if you value the company at $1 billion, it would take 10 years for them to achieve $1 billion in sales. And the issue with that is, name a brand that's remained relevant for 10 years plus that's not Supreme. Name one, please, because there's Nike, and what else? And I'm talking about hype, because when you consider Adidas or whatever else, Adidas has not remained hype for 10 years. You know, Adidas has had silhouettes that people love, you know, the Stan Smiths or whatever, the shell toes. But Adidas hasn't been like in the limelight for 10 years. You know, they've been a player, you know, a player in the game. Same with Reebok, you know. And Nike is very different than Supreme. Nike has a very broad range of different things they offer. Very different than Supreme. Supreme's in a whole category of its own, which is why they are valued so high, because they are they're in their own category. I mean, completely their own category. You can't really relate them to any of the brand. But what's going to happen is, as Carlyle Group gets more involved with them, they're going to become more like other brands. Because what do you grow Supreme into? You know, how do you make more money with Supreme? There's only 3 ways to make more money, make more profit in business. And one is selling more product, increasing supply. Another one is reducing costs. You know, so manufacturing costs, I don't know, they could reduce quality, or, you know, I don't know, whatever. They could fire some employees. What are they going to do? You know, because I don't anticipate them going in and reducing a whole bunch of costs, because they just built a new fucking store. You know, they're buying real estate places. They got 6 Japan stores. They are going to put up more stores. They're going to put up more Supreme stores. You know, besides the extra Brooklyn store, we're going to see a Supreme in other places in the world that hasn't had it before. You know, a place they do really well is like Dubai or somewhere in the United Arab Emirates. Just any of these countries that are, you know, high wealth countries. Singapore, anybody who's kind of into American fashion culture but is a high wealth country, that would definitely work out for Supreme to put a store up there. So it's not going to immediately affect the supply so much that Supreme's not going to be worth anything in resale. You know, it's not going to be like they start a new store and then, you know, now Supreme's like all the resellers are fucked, right? It's not going to happen overnight, right? But when you consider Supreme's demand is way up here, right? And the supply is way down here, right? So if you want to increase profit, you just got to bring supply closer to the demand, right? You just got to increase supply a little bit. You don't want to pass the demand, you know, where shit's like selling below retail on resale, you know. To maximize profits, it's called the equilibrium, but you want to bring the supply all the way up to the demand. When they're perfectly equal, that's when you maximize profits. The problem with that is, in a real life situation, when you bring the supply up here, it drags demand down with it, right? Because when it's not as limited, it's not as demanded. So the higher space you have in here, the more hyper brand is. The shorter space you have in here, the more profitable they may be. Oh shit, I thought I dropped something. But the shorter space you have in here, the more profitable they may be, but the less hype or limited it is. So there's a sliding scale of everything. Everything works kind of in a different scale. And with Carlyle Group, they want to make more money. I mean, they're in here to make more money. That's all they're... I guarantee you, Supreme's going to start making more money one way or another. And I don't think they're going to do it by reducing costs. So they could... Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is they can sell more, but they also can increase prices. You sell more, increase prices, or reduce costs. Personally, I think the best thing for them to do would be to increase the price of the product, right? Because then you get Supreme in here closer with designer brands. If Supreme's hoodies went from $158 to $208, people would still buy them. I mean, you would. Think about it. You definitely still buy it. So, you know, it just kind of is what it is. It's unfortunate that that's like what's going to happen, but that's probably what's going to happen. But on top of them increasing prices, and that's likely to happen, they're also going to increase stock. They're also going to increase availability. You know, they have a Brooklyn store that just came out. Like I said in the last video, guys, the Brooklyn store's got to have at least 200 additional garments of every piece, right? So that's 200 more on the market, you know, and they've been increasing how many pieces they sell on the internet every single year. So it's getting less and less limited. Although it's still very limited, it's less limited than it was. And that's going to be the trend. You know, if they want to make more money, they have to keep making more product. You know, and they can sell stuff for a higher price. The real problem here, the real thing, or just the real problem that I have, I just don't want to see Supreme go down a mainstream route. The biggest thing about Supreme to me in my life has been that they're counterculture. And I love things that are counterculture. Like, even music and stuff, like, I want to listen to things first, and then when everybody's on it, I'm like not on it as more. Like, it's like I just don't want to like something as much when everybody else likes it. I just don't like following trends that hard, you know. It, like, I don't know, you know, even if I still like something a lot, I still want to be true to myself, so I don't want to be too involved with things that other people are heavily involved in. So as more and more people are getting into Supreme, it's like subconsciously making me want to distance myself from Supreme more. And that'll be the case when Supreme just becomes where it's so widely available. If they start selling it in, you know, different stores and stuff, or like if Nordstrom's has fucking Supreme, I'm not gonna, I like, as much as I love the brand, you know, I mean, guys, and I love the brand, I'm not gonna be rocking this shit. You know, not if everybody has it. And it's not like I gotta be like, oh, I wanna be the hypest guy out, or I wanna be so different. But I do wanna be different. I wanna be different. And that's where I'm a little bit scared about Carlyle Group getting involved and being the majority owner in this, because they grow companies into like super companies, you know? And Supreme's not meant to be a super company, nor is any streetwear company. You know, when, as you've seen, like some of these companies, they've grown too large and they just don't have any hype around them. And that's kind of is what streetwear is. Like, streetwear is all about the counterculture. And as you get too mainstream, you lose all that. So it's not a credible streetwear source anymore. And I just don't want that to happen to Supreme, guys. Really, at the end of the day, it's that I know Carlyle Group is in there to make money, and I'm not mad at them for making money, because, you know, I'm in all the shit that I'm in to make money, right? My job makes money. Like, the businesses I run on the side makes money. Like, you know, life's about making money, you know, partially. So I'm not mad at that. It's just, if Supreme gets so mainstream, you know, it might be something I have to move on from. And it's unfortunate, but it just like is what it is. But for me, I feel like I'll just be more interested in acquiring pieces from years ago that I didn't have the chance to get. Maybe I'll just do more saving up and buying old pieces. And, you know, maybe like the resale game will fall apart, but there's always something to resell. You know, you always can find the next thing to resell. That's not the important thing. With Supreme, you got to wake your ass up and cop on Thursday. And that's the fun of it. Like, that's what I get excited about. Is like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, damn, am I going to get this shit or am I not? And like, what am I going to do as a result of that? So, I don't know. I hope the fun around Supreme and the fashion around Supreme does not die anytime soon. But undoubtedly, we're going to have changes. Big changes. So tell me what you guys think. Get involved, you know, like, just let me know in the comments, guys. I know the last video had a ton of comments, so I really want to hear your guys' opinion now that we have a little bit more information. And if you guys want to know anything else from me or my opinions or whatever, just ask them, man. Like, I'm here for y'all. And let's just have a discussion, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you like this style of video. Go ahead and leave a like in there if you've enjoyed this at all. Definitely get in the comments. So that's what I really want you guys. You don't have to do anything else. Just comment and tell me what you think, because I'm really curious of what you guys think. So get in the comments, chop it up with me, and let's have a discussion. Y'all, as always, it's been your dog D's. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm checking out. Peace.